Hello there and welcome to my guide for painting the Atalan Jackels for Warhammer 40,000's Genestealer Cult. As you can see, the very first thing I've done is sprayed them all with some standard grey spray from Colourforge. I've also kept the buggy off its base for ease of painting. So first thing I'm going to do is wash them all with some Nuln Oil. Then once that wash has dried, I'm going to give them a nice liberal dry brush using some Abaddon Grey. This includes basically everything, just give the whole model a lovely dry brush. Then I'm going to start picking out the black details. First of all, the boots, the handles, the gloves, and the tyres, plus the goggles, or the straps for the goggles at least. Then I'm going to move on to the pouches, holsters, and belts, and I'll paint those with some Catachan Flesh. Then we'll paint the silver with some Leadbelcher. And then finally we're going to pick some red areas out on the bikes using some Mephiston Red. We'll also stay with that red and paint any pipes or tubings that cover the armour. Then we'll wash all of those colours with some Nuln Oil. While that wash dries, we'll start working on the lights and any yellow sections, starting with some Averland Sunset. We'll give those sections a quick wash using some Agrax Earthshade. Then I'll very blurrily, as the camera focuses on the background, highlight all of those black sections using some thinned down Mechanicus standard grey. Then for the Catachan Flesh, we'll start by using a 50-50 mix of Catachan Flesh and Knight's Questor Flesh. This will be followed by a second highlight, but this time it's just Knight Questor Flesh by itself and it's more of an edge highlight. For anything silver and the Leadbelcher, we're going to use a 50-50 mix of Leadbelcher and Stormhost Silver. For the red, we're not going to do anything fancy, we're just going to relayer the Mephiston Red and mostly as an edge highlight. For the pipes and things, we'll go one step further as I completely missed the camera shot using a 50-50 mix of Mephiston Red and Wild Rider Red. Then for the lights and anything yellow, we'll relayer the Averland Sunset, taking care to avoid any of the recesses. Then we'll use a 50-50 mix of Averland Sunset and Matte White to start highlighting the rest of the yellow. For the lights, try to aim just in the center. And then to finish off the lights, we're just going to add a tiny bit of Matte White in the center. Any gold charms will be painted with some Retributor Armour. Then for the rope that's on one of the backpacks, I'm going to use some Wraithbone, and I'm also going to use that Wraithbone to paint their skin as well. The rope will receive a wash of Agrax Earthshade. We'll also use that to wash the gold, and then the skin will be washed using some Carroburg Crimson. Once that wash has dried, we're going to mix in some Wraithbone to that Carroburg Crimson for about a 50-50 ratio to start highlighting the skin. And then we'll add a tiny bit of Pallid Witch Flesh to that mix for a 50-50 ratio for a second highlight. Then I'm going to use some Leadbelcher just to put a few dinks and sort of scratches into the paintwork. Basically, any way you like, you don't have to do too many if you don't want to, you can just leave this step out if you want as well. To muddy up the tyres and the bottoms of the bike, I'm actually going to use some weathering powder. This is basically just a quick brown that you dab it on. Then you can base yours however you like. Mine's been Astrogranite, and with the Astrogranite, I'm then going to highlight that using some grey Seer. And finally, I'll neaten up the bases using some Abaddon Black. And once you finish off the rest of the base, that's these guys done. They are incredibly easy and quick to paint. I would make a suggestion and not actually glue the riders onto the bikes. That'll make them a lot easier. But overall, they took roughly about 4 or 5 hours to paint from start to finish. I think they are pretty cool miniatures, and I'm very happy to have them in my army. Thanks to the Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine, I finally got hold of some. If you follow this guide and you really found it useful, please give the channel a subscribe, the video a like, and maybe a share. Do whatever you need to get more eyes on the channel. That'd be fantastic. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Again, really do hope I helped, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.